Hello, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus Tarot. Tonight I have a general reading for the collective with the theme of feeling stuck. So I'm really feeling like maybe some of you out there are feeling stuck in one way or another and maybe looking for guidance. So I'm going to take a look at what is making you feel stuck, and a little bit more information about that and how you might get out of that position, how you might move forward from that, any advice for getting unstuck. So let's take a look at, we're starting with the Murder of Crows Tarot. All right, so first, what's making you feel stuck is the Hierophant reversed. This is really the energy of things that you could rely on before are no longer available. Perhaps traditions, things you believed in, institutions. Even your degree. So if you have a degree or some sort of formal training that you feel stuck when it comes to what you believe and what you know. And there's this sort of standoff between what you used to believe and what you used to know. This is interesting because the Hierophant is a card of Taurus. And Taurus is presently in the sign of Uranus, and they have this conflicting energy. One is revolutionary and the other is Taurus. Likes tradition and likes things to stay the way they are. And so that's why we see there's a tension currently when these two signs, or when this sign and this planet combined. It's the revolution. So you may be stuck as to where you stand, what side of the argument you agree with, or what you can get behind. There's certainly some conflict in that. And whether this is emotional or not, I think that depends on the person. It's definitely something that's plaguing your mind. So there may be a lot of anxiety in relation to this. So let's see. Okay. Next we have the Ten of Swords reversed, but I'm going to turn it upright. I'm really feeling like you're stuck and you're at the end of what you feel like you can do. You have no more ideas. It's this energy of trying all different paths, and you feel like giving up, or it's being stuck, it's being stagnant. But there's a tremendous amount of pain that goes along with this stagnation. Fortunately, with the Ten of Swords reverse, that means that, or I take that as a good sign, because the Ten of Swords it's that last bit of pain before a breakthrough. We'll get one more of these cards. Yeah, it's like your resources or your energy or your ideas, it's all been picked over. Like you don't feel like there's anything left. And that's making you feel stuck, stagnant. But the card that I'm pulling next is the Ten of Cups. And this is emotional fulfillment. This is the path to emotional fulfillment. So though it may not feel like it, being in this space is necessary. It's necessary for your evolution as a human being. It's necessary for you to endure this pain and have these insights. It's necessary for you to have this crisis of faith, perhaps. And part of the crisis of faith leading to fulfillment is that when you come to this space, you know what you believe, or you know what you know, or you know what you don't know, which is possibly more important. I'm really seeing this like conversion happening from being stuck to unstuck. Is what a progression. And with 2 tens here, 10 is the sign of completion. So there's a certain level of completion happening here. So how can we turn the energy of the Hierophant from reverse to upright? So how can we know to believe? The Ten of Cups. What yields the most amount of happiness? Apologies. I live in a fairly noisy corner. So, what belief system gives you the most amount of happiness? I'm going to go outside and fight them. I'm trying to be mellow here. Okay. I used to have this painting above my bed, actually. It's like a pile of women and colors, and there's just something about it that makes me happy. So it's funny that it's the Ten of Cups. Apparently on my sleepy neighborhood road there is speed racing happening. Okay, back to the reading. So we have 10 of Cups here to clarify, to get you unstuck. So what this is asking you to do is to evaluate if your current belief system is actually serving you. So if you believe, let's say very heartily, that if you work hard and save for your retirement that you are going to be fulfilled, is that true? And certainly with the last year, many of these kinds of ideas have been called into question. What have you been believing? What have you been following? What traditions have you been honoring that are not fulfilling you? That are not leading you to a place of contentment, but that are actually the opposite of helpful. And for this 10 of Swords, let's see how we can clarify the 10 of Swords. Right here. Oh, we got 2. We have the I'm trying to read the Italian. The King of Wands. Though you can see the cards, it's actually very dark in here, so it's hard for me to see. The King of Wands. Oh. Okay. Turning your pain into pieces of art. This is how you complete the cycle. This is how you come and turn the Ten of Swords upright. And the Six of Pentacles and sharing with others. Oh, okay. So if you are a musician or an artist, you don't have to be, take this as it applies. But I'll use art as an example because it's a really easy example here. If you are, let's say, a musician and you're not playing your music for anyone, if you're a singer and you're not singing for anyone, that is going to keep you stuck. That's going to keep you stuck in this pain. Turn the pain into a song. Let the pain out through your singing. For others of you, this could be about projects unfinished. An ignited spirit that you consistently neglect. There's a power within you. There's some sort of expression of your, particularly a masculine self. It doesn't have to be creative self. It could also just be like being more aggressive, being more forthright, having and expressing more confidence in your abilities and your skills, showing off that nature, teaching others, sharing with others. What are you keeping to yourself that needs to be shared? And for this Ten of Cups, let's get a clarifier. So we have you feeling stuck in this place and the option to evaluate what has you here. And it looks to be a set of outdated beliefs, holding on to skills and abilities, or because of a lack of confidence or some insecurities, or just not valuing them enough. And to clarify the Ten of Cups, the wheel, which is also 10. This is the wheel of fortune. So there are unforeseen things in this situation, forces working behind the scenes. But I'm also really drawn to the idea of four corners. So holding down the four corners, are you balanced in all things? Are you honoring mind, body, emotion, and spirit? Which aspect of yourself are you neglecting? Because as you bring yourself into balance in these four areas, you're coming into this space of fulfillment. And so it could be with the Hierophant here, it's spirit that's being neglected. And you don't have to be spiritual to honor spirit. You honor it when you honor yourself and your intuition and your instincts. And there's strong instinct here with the King of Wands. So let's take some oracle cards. I think we'll do Black Moon astrology to see what a timeline is or any additional information that might be helpful about getting unstuck. maybe some influences in your charts. Okay, South Node. So this is all part of your South Node is the tail of the dragon. It's where the lessons that you've already learned or where your karma is released. So part of what's happening here is that you've released some of these debts, or you are releasing with this turning of the 10 of Swords. And in doing so, you have to readjust. You're speaking of yourself in an outmoded way, or you're planning for yourself in an outmoded way. What traditions are more important than contentment? I wonder. South Node. So maybe take a look at where your South Node placement is in your charts. But this is really telling me that you're feeling stuck for a big reason. Your North Node and your South Node are, the overall themes of your life. So what you are learning and what you are releasing. And the South Node is what you are releasing. So you're feeling stuck because you're in a period of releasing, and it's not time to move forward necessarily yet, but it's definitely time to reflect. All right, perfect. So we have a Mercury retrograde coming up. I'm filming this in January 2021. It's coming up near the end of the month. And in this deck, it's called Reinvention. And that's really the theme of this, I think, is reinventing your idea of yourself, your traditions, what you believe. What do you truly believe? So another good example of this is, let's say you followed a path of witchcraft, but you're finding that certain things don't align with you. Allowing that to be okay and to seek something else. You are not bound to something simply because it's where you started. Mercury retrograde really shakes things up because lines of communication get crossed. Things kind of aren't communicated as they are meant, but in some way it works out to be exactly what it needs to be. So this can be a time of a big purge, which aligns with the South Node really nicely. But also the wheel coming back into motion. So this number 10 is a wheel. So the wheel is turning, and it almost feels like the wheel is stuck, and it's going to start turning again when you move into a Mercury retrograde. So really looking forward, actually, and harnessing the power of Mercury retrograde. So maybe looking up how you can do that. And if you're not watching this when I filmed it, which is totally okay, this is a timeless reading, paying attention to whatever the next Mercury retrograde is, because that's going to be really significant for you. And it happens 3 times a year. So let's see if we can get some advice, any additional advice for this situation. Let love grow. I'm really feeling that this is a love for self, a love for life, a love for your beliefs, for the work that you do. This is developing a new love, a new perspective. If there is some way that your love life is stuck, knowing that something is growing that maybe you can't see or perceive at this time. And again, the Mercury retrograde, I feel, is going to be significant for that as well. Seeing that move in, come in. And let's get another one. Advice. Unstuck. There is a solution for every problem. This is actually something that I think you are meant to rise above. So if you are a great thinker, if you've been trapped in your own anxieties about this situation, I feel like it's time to untether yourself from that and explore. So rather than, okay, let's go back to the witchcraft situation. So let's say you're not fully resonating with that. That doesn't mean you need to jump paths and go all in on being a druid, for instance. It just means that you are in a space of exploration. What else is out there? You know, whatever your path has been up until now, whatever your beliefs, whatever you have relied upon to get you to where you are, that helped you to release this karma, but now you're reinventing yourself. And there's an openness that's needed for that. So maybe we'll get, what do we want here? Can we get a mantra, please, for how to move forward? That's where we're going to call on the crystal wisdom cards for something to help us become unstuck. We have pneumites. So I'll show you the crystal. This might be something you want to, if you find it in the next little while, maybe placing it on your altar or using it, holding it as you meditate on these things, on the questions that have come up here. So we have strength. I am strong in mind, body, and spirit. And I would add emotionally. So dividing the mind into the emotions and the thoughts, because we have the four corners here. So embracing the strength that you have in all areas of your life. I am strong in mind, body, and spirit. Can we get another? Ooh. We got another one. Skolicites, and it says peace. I am an instrument of peace. And this really for me, I'll show you the crystal. This really for me connects well to the panacea from the oracle deck here, where you're finding a peace in the not knowing. You're finding a peace in this space between. So rather than thinking of yourself as stuck, maybe you see yourself as in between. Liberate yourself by embracing this state of in-betweenness, embracing this unknown and using it as a time of exploration, exploring different ideas, knowing that taking one class on something or inquiring about something or looking something up doesn't mean that you're in full conversion. It just means that you are open to receiving some other form of wisdom. And I think I'll leave it there for you guys. Thank you so much. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're going through right now, because I was really picking this up in the collective. I was highly guided to do this reading, so let me know. And if you want to book a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. Thank you so much. Have a good night.